So I know lately I've been talking a lot about movie delays caused by the concerns of the coronavirus, but today I want to talk about convention cancellations caused by the pandemic. Hey everyone, Blood Moon Bobby here. So first of all, welcome to my first video where I have edited this in a 2:1 aspect ratio. You'll notice that the the frame itself is a bit wider, I guess you can say. I cropped it down to fit a 2:1 aspect ratio. It's so that it's better optimized for a lot of the newer smartphones, especially the bezel-less or near bezel-less smartphones that are out there. So I wanted to try to make content that's better optimized for it. But I want to hear from you. I know that a lot of people out there still use smartphones. I personally know some people as well that still use smartphones that use the more traditional 16:9 aspect ratios. So, but I am open to hearing what better works for you out there, or more specifically for the people that watch my videos. So let me know your thoughts down below. But anyway, let's talk about convention cancellations caused by concerns of the coronavirus. In particular, we're going to be talking about Comic-Con, WonderCon, and Anime Expo 2020. If you go to the websites of these three conventions, you'll read that the conventions for 2020 have been canceled due to concerns of the coronavirus. And they also have announced when their 2021 conventions will take place, when their events will take place next year. And I'll have those dates listed right over here on this part of the video if you want to check that out. And in terms of refunds, Anime Expo and San Diego Comic-Con have said that individual badge holders will have the option of either requesting a refund or have their badges transferred to next year's conventions. And I know that the WonderCon website has said that they are beginning to process refunds for that particular convention. So I wanted to make this video to talk about how much I really enjoy conventions and how much they've helped me and how great of an experience they are for many fans of like television shows, movies, cartoons, and anime, and how much fun it is and how great of an experience they are. But to also talk about how, while I am disappointed to hear that these conventions have been canceled for this year, I am looking forward to hopefully going back to them in 2021, so long as it's a lot safer to go outside then. I really hope so, because it's been really depressing being stuck in here. As much as I understand it's for my own safety, it can be really stressful just being in the same house day after day. But anyway, as far as conventions, I'll start off with Anime Expo, which is a convention that I honestly have a pretty on and off relationship with. I think the first one I went to was back in, I want to say like it was either 2008. I know me and my family, we definitely went there in 2009, but it was basically right around then. It was the very first convention that I went to. I know my family really wanted to go there because I think they heard about it in the LA Times and it looked like a lot of fun. So, and especially the first few years that I started going to the convention, Anime Expo was fun. I mainly went there for buying merchandise from like the different artists and creators that are there. This was before I really started getting into cosplay, where I kind of hit a bumpy road was Anime Expo 2017, which was kind of a bittersweet experience for me because that was the first time where I went to the convention cosplaying as Blood Moon Marco. That wonderful cosplay, by the way, was made by my amazing sister Penny, thank you, who also has made many of the illustrations that you see here on this YouTube channel. And it was a lot of fun meeting a lot of Star vs. the Forces of Evil fans. I was admittedly kind of concerned that I wasn't going to be able to find many because I know Star is kind of a niche franchise within Disney, but the good news was I was able to meet a lot of fans, and I think that cosplay really played a really big part, and the feedback inspired me to rebrand my YouTube channel from what it was called at the time, Kumite World, to Blood Moon Bobby. But at the same time, I'll be the first to admit that Anime Expo is one of the more crowded conventions. I'll have actually a link to a video of the convention, that I filmed long time ago. It was for my college newspaper. And yeah, you can see that it's filled with crowds, just lines of people going across the exhibition halls and outside. I remember for the 2017 convention, we spent like around 2 hours outside just waiting to get inside the convention, and it was a really tiring experience. I remember coming out of the bathroom and, you know, from wall to wall, it was just filled with lots of people. It was like walking through a crowded city within an indoor convention center. So that's kind of why I've been very on and off with Anime Expo. If I ever get like a press opportunity to, you know, go in for press pass to make a video, maybe I'll go back, but until then, I'm kind of unsure about going to Anime Expo myself. And I could see if AX 2020 did go on this year, it did run a risk of the possibility of the coronavirus to spread, especially since for me it's one of the more crowded conventions that I've been to. And as far as Comic-Con, this is a convention that I never got the chance to go to. San Diego Comic-Con, I think, is one of the more difficult conventions to access in California due to its popularity. I've had friends, I think Gabby included, that have like tried to get a ticket for the convention. It's one of those conventions that's so popular where you basically have to start getting your ticket like at least the year before the convention takes place. So I think that's part of why it's really difficult to access. And if you have any tips for accessing San Diego Comic-Con and getting a ticket, let me know down below in the comments. But it's still a convention that I still get really excited for, my friends that go there, and something that I think everyone experiences, like even people who aren't going to the convention, something that everybody gets to see are the trailers that come online, especially in recent years. I remember some of the first trailer reactions, I think I did some beforehand, but some of the first trailer reactions I did were actually trailer reactions for movies where they had trailers coming out around the time of Comic-Con. So I think of movies like Ready Player One and Kingsman: The Golden Circle. And for Comic-Con 2017, I remember the trailers that came out, some of the television show trailers that came out for that convention were close enough, as well as Star vs. the Forces of Evil's third season. They had trailers come out around the time of Comic-Con, and I have such good memories of, especially, I mean, close enough, I'm definitely really excited for, but the Star vs. the Forces of Evil trailer in particular, because that was the year 2017 was the year where they came out with a trailer that had the Silver Bell Ball dance with Tom and Star, which, hey, was a really well done sequence. I'm really happy. I thought it was a really great scene. It's just that I know, for some Star fans seeing Tom and Star dancing, it was kind of like the end of the world. And I remember doing a trailer reaction where I was parodying Martin Scorsese's Casino, and I made it look like Blood Moon Marco was like getting in this minivan and things go wrong. So even then, like, those really kind of funny, great memories, even though I wasn't able to go to the convention, that trailer in itself, just the memories it brought, it is a lot of fun. And I really hope one of these days to go to that convention, to go to San Diego Comic-Con. And also for Star vs. the Forces of Evil fans, I know in recent years they've been having like boba meetups at a particular boba shop that goes on there, and I would like to go there as well. It's just that I would have to plan this really big trip because that, you know, I'm sure it's a lot of fun, but the boba shop itself is literally over 100 miles from where I live. So for me, it would be more difficult to access. But still, SDCC is a convention I would like to access one of these days, although I wouldn't be surprised if the 2021 convention is already really hard to get into. But again, I'm open to hearing any suggestions down below in the comments. As far as trailers we usually could have expected around Comic-Con time, it looks like, my guess is it's going to be any kind of trailers or announcements are going to have to be done through the internet, much like how we've been hearing about all these movie delays, movies being pushed for a much safer time, or movies getting moved to streaming services and that kind of stuff. So any kinds of announcements will probably have to take place through the internet. But I know that Amphibia creator Matt Braley put out a Twitter poll asking people, how can we connect more with the fans since Comic-Con is canceled? And his options were a Twitch panel, a Reddit AMA, a Nintendo Direct style video, or World of Warcraft. It would be nice to see trailers, but I think it would also be awesome if we saw the crews of shows like Close Enough or Owl House and Amphibia did like a Q&A on something like Twitch or YouTube, where they can talk about announcements, but it will also give fans the opportunity to ask the cast and crew questions live. So maybe something like that. It would be nice if it was like a Reddit AMA, but at the same time, I do like getting a visual of seeing these creators and the cast like actually responding to the people like live in a video. So maybe something like that can happen. It'll probably have to be done from like the comfort of the cast and crew's homes, due to concerns of the coronavirus, but I'm sure something like that can be arranged for many of these shows. And as far as WonderCon, I was really hoping that this year I could go back to WonderCon, because last year I wasn't able to due to a lot of shit that was happening in my personal life. But I do remember WonderCon 2018 was a really fun convention. It was actually the first convention where I worked with a crew on that video, because I worked with a animation editor. Again, I was making a video for my college, and I worked with an animation editor to work on Lower Thirds graphics and this amazing intro. And also my friend Steven, who you might have seen in some of our recent reviews, like when we reviewed Parasite in 1917, he took some photos for that video, and we also filmed a segment where he checked out some of the merchandise he got at WonderCon 2018. But I still remember WonderCon 2018, much like Anime Expo. It had, some really amazing people. It's a much less crowded convention than Anime Expo, so it's a lot more fun to go to and walk around, and I met some really amazing people. I remember for WonderCon 2018, I dressed up as Kate Marco. Again, amazing cosplay made by my sister Penny, thank you. And I met some Star Wars Forces of Evil fans, and it was a lot of fun to meet people who really liked that show. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remember getting some merchandise from that convention as well. So I am hoping to go back there for WonderCon 2021. And I definitely recommend it for animation and television and pop culture fans, especially those who live around the Anaheim area. Like, the convention center itself is near Disneyland, to give you an idea of where WonderCon is in case you haven't been there. So I definitely really enjoy going to conventions. They offer lots of merchandise, and they have some really amazing people there. I really like meeting the artists, as well as many fans from all kinds of different shows and video games, and it's a lot of fun to meet them. It also gives me a chance to actually meet my YouTube viewers and subscribers in person, and I think that's really amazing, because I think it's one thing to talk with people in the comment section, but to actually meet that person face to face and engage in a conversation about the shows we like, I think is one of the really, for lack of a better word, magical things to come out of conventions. So I think that would be really wonderful. It's just that at the next time we're going to conventions, it's probably going to be next year. As far as one convention I could think of, Long Beach Comic-Con, which usually takes place towards the end of the year. The last time I checked their website, it sounds like they're still scheduled to have it for the end of this year, although that could change if the coronavirus situation does not improve until then. I hope it does, because it will be a lot of fun to go to these conventions again. But I think it's definitely a wait-and-see situation. And I definitely recommend the Long Beach comic conventions, both Long Beach Comic Expo and Long Beach Comic-Con. They're relatively affordable, especially compared to the bigger conventions, and they're a lot easier to access. Like, they're not nearly as crowded as something like an Anime Expo, so I think it's a lot of fun. And as far as buying my merchandise this year, it's probably going to have to be done online, much like I did with this Earthbound iPhone XR a phone case that I recently bought through Redbubble. If you want to see what it looks like, I'll have, you can check it out on my Twitter page. So hopefully by next year it'll be a lot safer to go to these conventions, because I'll definitely miss them. As far as any kind of movie and television show announcements, we're probably going to have to catch them on the internet, just as we have been doing lately. So I do hope to go to these conventions again, because they're a lot of fun. And I definitely recommend for people who haven't been to these conventions, they have some, the people there tend to be really nice. It's a really good chance to meet fans of your favorite shows and video games. And also, potentially the crew of these shows, like, they often come to these conventions as well. So I definitely recommend them, especially for later on, hopefully when this coronavirus situation subsides. But I want to hear your thoughts down below. What do you personally think of these conventions? How do you feel about them getting delayed? Let me know your thoughts down below. Until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos, and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.